Up all day and all night, pushing all the buttons up to something till it's alright. He looking at it from all sides and angles. Got a stripes on his body like he played for the Bengals.
Thank you guys for joining us on a special edition of State of the Jungle as we recap Bengals versus Ravens live from the First Star Logistics studio right here in Cincinnati, Ohio. I'm your host, Malik Wright. Lots to digest. I just got back from the stadium where we saw the Bengals absolutely thrash the Baltimore Ravens. I think the Bengals were, pretty much trotting out there a vanilla script, if you will, Daniel. I don't think that the Bengals were showing the Ravens every single thing. Nonetheless, I still think the Bengals left a lot of points out there. I think the Bengals left a lot to be desired, but that's expected, right? It's expected. This was a big FU to the NFL, right? This was us showing the NFL, who they, everybody in the chat, right? This is us showing the NFL that the Bengals are still the team to beat in the AFC. As you guys see, I jumped up on the show with the FEA shirts. If you don't know what they stand for, the Bengals coaching staff are wearing these last year, and it stands for F them all. And that's how I feel. I feel really rejuvenated. You know what I mean? Because it was a lot of disrespect the Bengals' way this week, but it's okay. We went out there, we handled business, and we got to handle business again. Next week we got to face the same team that we faced this week, and I expect it to be much more tough. We'll see if Lamar Jackson is going to play. We'll see if Alex Kappa is going to be healthy enough. But I could just tell you the atmosphere in that stadium was a pissed off, rabid fan base. And that's the type of atmosphere that we need. That's the type of energy that we need in Paycor Stadium this upcoming Saturday or whenever the NFL decides to put us on. And it doesn't matter who we play, just like the hat says, they've got to play us. And that's the God's to honest truth. They still have to play us. Again, I said it on several lives before. Do not think us coming out in defense of the Cincinnati Bengals or us saying that the Bengals don't have a shot at the Super Bowl, or we don't think that the Bengals can't make it past the wild card round. It was more so getting a fair shake, but it's over. It's done with. I don't care, OG Debo. I do not care. He's in the comment section saying, you guys are in trouble. We're coming, Malik, and you know it. Anybody could get it. Same thing Connor said. Anybody could get it. The fact of the matter is, if you think that that's the same product the Bengals are going to put on the field, during the wild card round, you got another thing coming. I think the Bengals had a very vanilla playbook, and they beat you guys with that playbook, and I expect the Bengals to show up and show out next week again. Before we deep dive, before we get to your questions, before I talk back and forth for Daniel, make sure you guys leave a like on this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Greatly appreciate it. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you appreciate all the content we're putting out. As you know, we do a State of the Jungle every single Wednesday. Tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Eastern time, I'll be live with Meg on the Sitdown as we'll be breaking down Black Monday in the NFL, all the coaching firings, all the changes that are happening. There are two big changes happening in the NFL. I'm not allowed to report on them just yet because I was out of respect for that organization. There are two things happening. There's two coaching changes happening, and you guys will get more information about that here very, very shortly. But yeah, you guys keep it locked with me. It's Malik season coming up, so I appreciate you, John, man. Without you guys, we can't do any of this. But I'm much more than just a Bengals insider. I break NFL news too. So yeah, big win for the Cincinnati Bengals. We got a lot more, but we want all the smoke. We want all the smoke. We want all the smoke. So with that being said, Daniel, how we feeling, man?
I'm feeling good, man. We were at the game, watching the First Star Logistics suite, and I'll be honest, I've got a lot to say about the Ravens, but I wasn't too concerned. Like, I know heading into this game, it was, okay, crap. The Bengals got to play the Ravens twice. After seeing this game, I know they didn't have Lamar Jackson. I'm not concerned. And I guess I'll just get into one of my biggest pieces of analysis. Their receivers are trash. Their receivers are trash, and that's with all due respect, right? I looked at those guys, and in crunch time, when they needed it, dropped ball. Even when they made the big play, right? Big play down the right sideline. What happened? Fumbled the ball. And when I look at a team and I project playoff success, that's not playoff success, right? And we've obviously talked back and forth about Lamar Jackson in the playoffs. You're going to expect Lamar Jackson to come back after missing 4 weeks and to perform like how he did before? I'm not concerned. And when I look at the Ravens defense, I wasn't concerned.
You know, I'm not there yet. I'm not going to disrespect the Ravens. The Ravens are a division rival.
Yeah.
The Ravens know the Bengals. Listen, you draft and you compete to beat your division rivals, to be the head of your division. So the teams you focus on the most are teams in your division, right? A lot of your roster that you build is to beat teams in your division. I do think the Bengals are going to beat the Ravens, but the Ravens are a tough bunch, right? The Ravens usually play that top-down coverage where they don't want to give away the big play to the Cincinnati Bengals. You know what I mean? So the fact of the matter is, we got somebody down here, Bomb Brothers. Hey, Malik, we got into a dispute earlier over your Kenny Pickett video. I just wanted to say I really appreciate you admitting your wrong judgment. That's a sign of a true man. Much respect. Respect to you, brother, man. Respect to you, man. And nah, Grant, I don't take any days off, man. You can't take any days off, man. You got to keep grinding. You got to keep delivering the content, keep delivering for the people, man. This is crunch time, man. This is when you got to be at your best. But I'm live in the First Star Logistics studio. Love talking with you guys. Knew I had to speak with you guys. So, let's celebrate for a second. Back-to-back AFC North champions. I don't know how you guys felt, but for me, it didn't feel like we were rightfully AFC champions just by the NFL handing it to us. Because I felt like we had to beat the Ravens in order to finally get that. And I still feel in a sense, right? You beat the Ravens next week. When the Bengals beat the Ravens next week, you feel even more so like you're AFC North champions, and you feel like, all right, you know what? We run the division. The division runs through us. But, not only that, the conference runs through us. And I think that's our entire mentality. I think that the Bengals are chomping at the bit. To me, I saw a team that played pissed off today. Yeah. I saw a team that wanted to show people that, you know what? The NFL might have screwed us, but guess what? We're here for the long haul. We're here, for longevity, so to speak. And I certainly think the Bengals players, you definitely knew, you got the sense when you walked to the stadium, the fan base was pissed off. The fan base was on fire. Third down, Mark was going crazy, swinging the towel and things of that nature. That's the type of atmosphere that we need to have in Paycor Stadium, for the playoffs. And it all starts next week. You know what I mean? I think the Bengals showed up and showed out. I think that there are some things we need to work out. Joe Burrow was a little off today. All right. I mean, I think that it's important to acknowledge these things. And he even admitted it in his press conference. There are certain times and certain things that Joe Burrow does at an elite level typically. And usually some of those throws like the throws to Hayden Hurst, the throws to Tyler Boyd over the middle. Those are plays that you usually see happen. But I think that's going to get corrected, shortly. And I think the Bengals are going to shock a lot of people, man. Daniel, what do you think?
Yeah, I completely agree. And when I look at the Ravens, I was trying to figure out, okay, what surprised me? One player, I guess, that, kind of really surprised me, Roquan Smith. I think he really showed out, right? The Ravens linebacker. He was one of the guys where I looked at, okay, who's really stepping up? He wrapped up, Joe Mixon. He made a couple big time plays. So he was the guy that I was like, okay, in the playoffs, that's somebody that, the Bengals are going to have to watch out for. But when I look at the Bengals, once again, they put up 27 points in 3 quarters, right? I don't even think they scored in the 4th quarter. So if you put up 27 points and it still looked like they were holding back a little bit. So obviously the playoffs is going to be a little bit different. They get Lamar Jackson back, Mark Andrews.
Well, we don't know that. We don't know
potentially,
if we're going to get them back. But,
potentially. And also another guy, Isaiah Likely. Isaiah Likely really showed up for the Ravens. So that was nice to see from a Ravens perspective. But as far as the Bengals, once again, Trenton Irwin looked good. Tyler Boyd looked good. And this offensive line looked good. I was surprised to see the Bengals not run the ball as much. And I don't know, maybe they just, tried going with the quick passing game. But overall, I was happy. And it was like Joe Burrow, what he said, in the press conference. Yeah. We won 8 straight games, but there's still more to improve. So,
what I mean? Like, I think certain things are important to address here. I think that, I think like the Bengals playbook seemed to be very vanilla. It didn't seem like the Bengals were trying to really show too much, honestly. So I'm not gonna overreact. I'm not gonna overreact based on what we saw today. I think that the Bengals did what they were supposed to do. They proved that they could take advantage of, having their starters in. The Ravens had their starters in on defense for the most part, except for Marcus Peters, things of that nature. I do believe that the Cincinnati Bengals are going to be rolling next week as well. I think the Bengals are pissed off, man. I think they're pissed off, and you didn't see a team that seemed satisfied after the victory. It seems like they wanted more, and I think it said a lot. I heard about John Harbaugh not shaking hands with the Bengals. I don't know what that was about. I did see Lamar Jackson run across the field, find Joe Burrow, shake his hand, and give him a hug. So props to him for that. But it's still free smoke for everybody. Like I said, I meant it when I said on Twitter, Bengals versus the world. That's the mentality that we have to have right now. That's the mentality that we have to have. And that's the chip that we have to have on our shoulder, not just as a Bengals team, but the city of Cincinnati. You know what I mean? I think that if you're crazy if you think Joe Burrow is going to have two weird games back to back. I expect a big game next week. I expect him to show up and show out. Before we jump into against the world, you're right about that, Preston. Against the world. Make sure you guys give this video a like. You guys subscribe to our YouTube channel. Greatly appreciate you guys. If you guys can definitely do that. If this is your first time viewing our videos, we go live almost each and every single day. That's our format. We have live shows. I have a live show Monday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern time where we talk about the NFL, not just Bengals. We talk about everything. I'll be covering Black Monday in the NFL this upcoming tomorrow, and talking about all the different firings and different coaching changes that I anticipate to be happening and things that I know already off the hand. We also do State of the Jungle each and every single Wednesday where we talk about playoff matchups. We're going to be talking about the playoff matchups and talking about how we see the Bengals faring. And we also have our betting show coming back on Tuesday. But I want to get into some of these questions. But before we do, if you're looking to start your career as a broker, make sure you guys subscribe. Make sure you guys apply to First Star Logistics. There's no place better, better atmosphere, better people. I've been out here since September, been partnered with them since August, and the atmosphere is second to none. Can't say enough great things. So if you're looking to start your career today as a broker, make sure you apply to First Star Logistics. Daniel, I want to get into some of these people's questions and start talking to people. So if you guys could do me a favor, put all your questions down in the comment section. We'll be getting to them live.
So Malik, I'll start it off before, as we're waiting to get people's comments and questions in here. What was the biggest surprise of this game, would you say, so far, this game today?
Well, I tell you right now, Roquan Smith's post-game quote, which Bengals are nameless and faceless opponents. Really? Roquan Smith, let's put it on the shirt. The Bengals are nameless and faceless opponents. Listen, man, you're digging yourself deeper and deeper. The Bengals already feel motivated. The Bengals are already pissed off. So you're going to come out there and say that the Bengals are nameless and faceless opponents? Oh, man. The same Bengals where Joe Mixon was running through the teeth of your defense and knocking you guys back were nameless and faceless opponents. The Bengals, defending AFC North champions, defending AFC champions are nameless and faceless opponents. The Bengals, who have rattled off 8 straight wins, are nameless and faceless opponents. The Bengals that haven't lost since Halloween are nameless and faceless opponents. Come on, man.
I think that's ridiculous, right? And that's after we just got done praising him, right? He had a good game, but
we got done praising him, man. And my guy Dave Burke, shout out Dave, man, shot me over a text and told me what Roquan Smith just said in his press conference. Man, listen, this is just the added extra motivation, man. Right? This is just the added extra motivation. These guys just get up there and they just start talking trash, man. They haven't learned yet, But you know what? It's cool. I have the funny feeling that they think that this is us in our final form. This is what they're going to see. We'll see.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And if you guys have any questions about the playoffs, about this game, make sure you guys drop them down below.
Yeah, drop your questions down below. Or even if you want to just pop off in the chat and you just want to talk, I want to hear from all Bengals fans. Again, this is a Bengals show strictly for Bengals fans, where we talk all things Bengals.
So I've got a question that, a lot of Bengals fans are probably asking. Alex Kappa, right? Let's say hopefully he's okay and hopefully he'll be able to play next week. But if he's not, what do the Bengals do?
I think Matt Sharping will get the start. Matt Sharping, who's pretty much been back up the entire time. He's a guy that, coming out of college, he tested great. He's a guy that I think can definitely fill the void. But hopefully we're not in that position. And I see somebody in the comment section say, Daniel, you need a shout out, man. You've been working hard. Yeah, Daniel's been working hard, man. He's been killing it, man.
I appreciate that. That's love. And that's, that's why we do this, right? We answer people's questions and we do this for the people. So, Malik, as we're waiting still for some more of these questions,
sure.
I've got a question for you. When you look at the playoffs, when you look at the Bills, you look at the Chiefs, which team do you feel like, is the toughest test for the Cincinnati Bengals? You
want my honest opinion?
Yeah.
I think the Ravens are going to be our toughest test in this stretch. And it's because they know us. They're our division opponents. When the Bengals make it past the Ravens, look out, Bills were coming. Chiefs were coming. The disrespect was heard. Man. You know what I'm saying? And I know there's something different about those AFC North matchups, man, where those teams where we play tough. But I'll tell you right now, Bills, we're not the Patriots. We're not. Chiefs, we're not the Raiders. The Bengals are going to come to play. The Bengals are the team to beat. Those two teams I know are praying. They are praying that Lamar or Tyler Huntley, whoever is going to be the quarterback for the Ravens, bounce the Bengals so they don't have to see the Bengals. But I'm going to tell you right now, yeah, I think that the Bengals are going to shock a lot of people, man. And I think this is the Bengals revenge tour. I do.
I find it hilarious. We got Ravens fans, Bengals fans going at it in the comments.
I love it, man.
But a lot of people, talking about Cam Taylor-Britt. Cam Taylor-Britt, played his ass off today. What was your thoughts on his game today and his ascendance so far?
Listen, I was very, very impressed with Cam Taylor-Britt. He needs to get better in pass coverage. He needs to stop allowing the receiver to dictate, especially when the ball is in the air. He needs to be able to track the ball a lot better, because that will not fly against some of the elite quarterbacks. And best believe every offensive coordinator is going to show that film to their quarterback and say, you know what, we can attack Cam Taylor-Britt. I don't think that could be the case, but that's something that is a concern of mine, and that's something that needs to be fixed quick, fast, in a hurry.
We got Dwight Patton saying Jackson Carman, he want that spot. What were your thoughts on Jackson Carman?
Hey, man, listen, opportunity meets preparedness. So if Jackson Carman gets an opportunity and Jackson Carman shows up, then shows out, that's what we're looking for. You know what I mean? But the fact of the matter is, in his limited spot today, Jackson Carman looked good. And, he got if he gets another chance, he has to keep showing that. Got to keep building that consistency if you want to stay in the starting lineup.
Time Court said, seems like the Ravens were targeting Eli Apple a lot. How do you feel like Eli played today?
I thought Eli handled himself pretty well. Outside of that one play he gave up, which is just tough. I believe it was on Isaiah Likely, right? Yeah. Isaiah Likely deep down the sideline. It's one of those things where I just think he needs to just, I think as long as he keeps his head about him, cornerback position is such a tough position to play in the National Football League. But I was very, very impressed with how our corners have played.
We got Power Radio talking about the Bills. Said the Bills are no match for the defending AFC champions. Malik, I think people need, you to remind them, like, give them your thoughts on the Bills versus the Bengals if that happens.
Listen, man, I thought the Bengals were rolling. I don't think that the Bills had an answer for the Bengals offense. I still don't. I think it's tough, right? You think about it. The Bengals still have the three-headed receiver and core at the three-headed monster at receiving core, right? They've got Jamar Chase, they've got T. Higgins, they got Tyler Boyd, and now you got the emergence of Trenton Irwin, and then you got Hayden Hurst back in the fold. Listen, everybody's a weapon on this Bengals offense, man, and then you got to worry about the running backs catching the ball out of the backfield. I think the Bengals can utilize that to their advantage, and I think that is what we are seeing. I think this Bengals offense has evolved, and I think that when you think you have an answer for one person, the Bengals come out and shock you for a different person.
And I think that's one of the best things about this Bengals offense. Like, the guys like Trenton Irwin, that doesn't happen in every offense. That's what people think, look at the Bills, look at the Chiefs. That doesn't happen in every offense. So let's stick with the receivers. Tammy is talking about, T. Higgins. T. Higgins seemed off today. Do you think it was due to the roller coaster of a week that he had?
It could have. It just seemed like this Bengals core, they didn't know who they were going to play. They didn't know what the NFL's ruling was going to be halfway through the week. You didn't know if you were playing the Bills. You didn't know if you were playing the Ravens. You didn't know what was going on. So, again, the very vanilla game plan, it was sort of like a very makeshift type of offensive game plan put together. And you could tell on the football field, it just seemed like they were just going through the motions out there. But there was still an energy about the stadium, the fan base. And you noticed that at points in the game, it seemed very it was very low energy from the offensive side of the football.
So we got Sonny, one of our, biggest supporters, said, "You're one of the best broadcasts. I watch you in a while. I love Ohio State college football, and I love the Bengals players." Sonny's just showing his love.
Thanks so much, Sonny. I greatly appreciate your support, man. Again, without people like you, we can't do this show.
So I've got a question. People are talking about the Chiefs. We watched the Chiefs game on Saturday against the Raiders. Overall, give me your thoughts on the Chiefs. Let's say the Bengals have to play them in the AFC Championship. What are your thoughts?
We could play in Alaska. We could play in Cincinnati. We could play in KC. We can play in an open field somewhere. I'm picking the Bengals. I think the Bengals have the Chiefs number.
I agree. People are asking, about Trey Hendrickson. How do you feel like Trey Hendrickson? I saw, he had a club on his hand. It looked like he never normally doesn't wear gloves, but how do you feel like Trey played today?
I think Trey played great. I mean, he's getting double teamed, held out there, getting, hitting the ribs and all that kind of stuff. And Trey's just still trying to find a way to disrupt the game. He's an energizer. He's a guy that, always brings it no matter what. And, you and I had an opportunity to speak with him in depth about football and about how he approaches the game. And you remember what I told him? I said, Trey, you seem like a player that's possessed out there when you're out there on the football field. So props to Trey Hendrickson, man. He brings it every time.
We got a fun question here from Andrew.
Sure.
He said, who gets your game ball, Malik? Put your head coaching cap on right now. If you're head coach Zach Taylor, who would you say would get the game ball?
Jesse Bates gets a game ball. I would say Mike Hilton gives the game ball because Zach Taylor gives a lot of game balls out. He gives a lot of game balls out. But I also love the way Joe Mixon played today. He did the dirty work. He that one pass that he caught from Joe Burrow was a check down, went for 30 yards, whatever the case may be. So he brought it, man. So those are the guys.
So if you guys have any more questions, comments, make sure you guys drop them down below. But Malik, let's switch it over to the NFC really quick. I just want to get your thoughts on some of these other teams like the Eagles. If you have to face one of them in the Super Bowl, the Eagles, the 49ers, which one, scares you the most?
The 49ers, probably a little more than the Eagles. I'm not there with the Eagles. I'm not like, I know a lot of people are ready to sing their praise and stuff like that. I don't know.
Good question here. Switching this over to the Miami Dolphins, right? The Miami Dolphins are in the playoffs. Ryan's asking, what do you think of Miami versus Buffalo next week? If Tua or Teddy plays, Hill and Waddle should have big games against the Bills.
Oh yeah. If Tua plays, it could be a game. I still expect the Bills to show up and show out, but I definitely think that the Miami Dolphins, again, these division opponents, you are built to play the teams in your division, and you are built to know the teams in your division. It wouldn't shock me if the Bills got knocked off by the Miami Dolphins. It wouldn't shock me at all. I'm not picking that, but it wouldn't shock me either.
So we got somebody saying that the Bengals are going to choke as usual, right? In the playoffs or the Super Bowl. The Bengals will never win it ever. And I just kind of want to say, like, this isn't the same Bengals of old. This team's different, right? And that's something that all fans should understand. Look at this team. This team has swag. After the takeaways, after the turnovers, they go and do a team celebration. That doesn't happen on a lot of teams, right? The team's chemistry is insane. And you look at even like the Joe Mixon celebration today, flipping the coin. That's something, it's funny. And obviously some of these players, we saw what Eli Apple did, kind of, was making fun of the NFL, and obviously he'll probably get fined for that. But that's
coming.
It's definitely coming. But like that builds chemistry. So I look at what the Bengals are doing, and it's special. And this team's definitely special. The Platypus said, with Mike Williams being carted off, who do you think makes it out of the 4-5 game? Oh, okay, so the Jaguars or the Chargers, right? If you have to make a prediction right now in Jacksonville, who would you say wins that game?
Chargers. I think the Chargers are the better team right now.
Yeah. No, I agree. Sonny has a question. Sonny's asking, have you ever played college football or NFL? And if you have, I bet you were an awesome football player, or you would make a great coach. Tell them a little story about you. You were a coach.
I was a football coach for high school. Sonny, it's funny. I never coached before. I grew up around the game of football. My brother and my family are, I have a football family. My brother tied the New Jersey state record for most touchdowns in the state of New Jersey. So grew up around the game my entire life. It's funny. I was supposed to be a defensive analyst for a high school football, Harry S. Truman in Pennsylvania. And I went in there for the interview, and we broke down X's and O's for about 3 hours, and they handed me the freshman head football coaching job right off the back. And they said, you know your stuff. We believe that you could take our freshman football team to the next program. Unfortunately, COVID-19 hit. Didn't get a chance to do that. Went all in on my business. The rest is history. But I appreciate that, Sonny.
I love that. I think the people definitely deserve to hear, how your football mind works. I've got a question. Some people were asking about the refs, right? The refs kind of made some iffy calls today. So overall, what were your thoughts on the refs in today's game?
I think that you're always going to have weird calls. I thought that the Joe Burrow face mask was ridiculous. I don't understand how you missed that. It's tough. The referees have a tough job out there. So, you're always going to miss things one way or the other. It was another one where Jamar Chase got slammed. It was just, it's a lot of stuff on a regular basis that, I try to give the refs a little bit of leeway, if you will, but some stuff is just ridiculous. I don't understand how you don't call that.
Exactly. And something else I want to talk about real quick was Joe Burrow. Obviously, Joe Burrow missed some throws. How about that play, though? How about the play at the beginning of the game, his scramble? People don't give him enough credit for his, his mobility. And, he did this at LSU. He hasn't really had to do it a lot in the NFL, but that play was a perfect example of, okay, like he just makes plays happen.
Yeah.
So we got a question. BTB said, just got here. Sorry if I missed this, but were the game plans today pretty vanilla, or was it a struggle for the offense?
I think it was very vanilla today. I don't think the Bengals are really trying too hard, to be honest with you. I think they thought that they could win with the passing game, and they did.
Yeah. So Malik, it kind of seems like people are getting their thoughts out in the comments, but
yeah.
I've got a question for you. Heading into this upcoming week, what do you feel like the vibe is going to be like in the stadium for the first playoff game?
I think it's going to be on fire. I think that the Bengals fans and the Bengals players and the Bengals coaching staff, they're pissed at the NFL. And I think that they're going to play with their hair on fire. I do.
I agree. The Platypus said the biggest issue with the refs is that they were laughing at Zach Taylor multiple times.
Yeah, we'll see who's laughing in February. Who will?
Yeah. There's the Bengals won AFC North twice in the span of 4 days. Talking about
Sure did. Again, I don't feel that the NFL handing us this. I don't think the players took that, which is why I think the Bengals waited to hand out the AFC North championship shirts and stuff like that. I think the Bengals took this game personally, and I still don't think the Bengals. Again, I didn't get the feeling, the notion leaving off the field that the Bengals felt like the mission was completed. I think you're going to see Cincinnati go on a special run.
We got a question from Joe Forte. I'm gonna kind of censor this a bit, but Malik, do you think that John Harbaugh is not a nice guy?
I think Harbaugh is a nice guy. I think that I think it's a divisional rival. I think it's a team you're going to see again. I don't think he took too kindly to some of the things that the Bengals did in terms of calling timeouts, but I also don't think the Bengals took too kindly to them calling timeouts. Trying to get the ball back, especially when you're looking at it, bro. What are you guys trying to get accomplished? You're down there. It's funny. It's like, take your own advice that you said about Vic Fangio last year. There's no play in your playbook that gets you 11 points. And yet, you still had your offense trotting out there instead of waving the white flag, trying to make sure these players, get to the next week healthy, get to the next game healthy, especially in a time in our league where, health has been at the forefront of everything, considering what just transpired Monday night. And, I thought the way Harbaugh went about the game plan was kind of weird, kind of reckless at times. And I think he probably felt the same way about the Bengals.
So something I kind of want to touch on before, not sure if we're wrapping up right now, but Power Radio is talking about 8 in a row is not enough. And I just kind of want to address, and I want to ask you this, Malik, because I hear a lot of people saying, well, it's hard to win 11 in a row. So the Bengals will probably lose 1 in the playoffs because it's not normal. You don't normally win 11 in a row. So what do you have to say to the people that say, well, that run, it's probably going to end at some point in the playoffs?
That remains to be seen yet. We'll see. I think that's why you play the game. I'm not here for superstition. I think that records are meant to be broken. I think trends are meant to be broken. I think the Bengals have a lot to prove. Prove to themselves, prove to the league. And I don't see them going out without a fight. It's going to take a lot to beat Cincinnati in the playoffs.
Randall, we appreciate that. He said everyone smash that like button. And if you guys are here, make sure you guys subscribe. We do live shows almost pretty much every single day.
Every single day.
Sit down tomorrow. We got the Right Bet Tuesday.
Yeah, if you guys are NFL fans in here, make sure you guys tune in at 11 a.m. Eastern time for the sit down. We'll be going over Black Monday. I'll be breaking some news, things of that nature, things I'm hearing around the league. I have already announced in here there are 2 big coaching changes that you could expect to be announced. I was asked not to report on them just yet. So with respect to not trying to burn my sources, I'm not going to say anything just yet. But if you guys have followed me, my track record, I only report on things, or only talk. I would only come out and say this thing as if I knew it was factual, and I promise you these are factual. Let's keep it coming.
So yeah, did you ever read the fixes in? That's what people are talking about, the fix being in. But everybody's just talking about, Bengals Jim with the banner for the win. 8 in a row is not enough. The Platypus said, as Joe Mixon said, we got 2 more championships to win before the game was even played.
Yeah, and I look again. I'm gonna just say this, right? I think that this Bengals football team will be prepared. I do. I think they're going to be prepared. I think they're going to be ready, and I think they're going to shock a lot of people. I do. I think that too many people are writing it off, saying, you know what, people are going to say, the Bills and the Chiefs are going to be in the playoffs, and I'm sure the league would want that. But as the shirt says, FEA, F them all. I think the Bengals are in the business of shocking people and not proving people wrong, but proving themselves right.
Big Jim Slade said 3 years ago, Malik called it about Lou Anarumo when everybody doubted him. In Lou, I trust. Malik, how do you feel like his game plan was today, and overall Lou Anarumo, he's surprised a lot of people, and I feel like he's finally getting the respect on a national level right now.
He deserves every single bit of it. That guy endured so much criticism from fans, from people in the media. And he told the organization, hey, I believe in my players. I believe that if we get the right players in this building, we could turn this thing around. And, people bashed him when Carl Lawson walked out the door. People bashed him when William Jackson walked out the door. And those guys just weren't right culture fits for what we were trying to build here in Cincinnati. And now you bring guys like DJ Reader and guys like Von Bell and guys like Mike Hilton in, and the rest is history.
Travis has a hypothetical question. He says, also hypothetically, if McVay is cut and Callahan is gone, potential reunion between him and Zach.
I don't think that's a very good question, Travis. You're trying to catch me. Let's just say I don't think that hypothetically, of course, I don't think that McVay would stay in coaching if he does leave the Rams. Let's just say that.
Yeah, exactly. So the Power Radio is switching this over to the defense. He said the White Tigers defense has been deadly recently. Let's talk about today really quickly. The turnovers. This team, they were just turnover after turnover after turnover. It seems like they deserve to be up there in the top 5 of the league.
Oh, yeah. I think that the Bengals defense is a rowdy bunch, and I think they're a bunch that likes to prove people wrong. You know what I mean? Like if you think that you catching a pass on them or you running for a big chunk play, is going to make them roll over and die, you still got to hold on to that ball tightly. They're still going to be clawing and ripping, trying to get that ball out. So that's something I really, really admire about Lou Anarumo's defense, is that they're always, chomping at the bit to, get that ball out and make a play.
Preston said our defense was going absolutely crazy today, and I agree. There was obviously some players like Dax Hill looked good. I still want to see more out of him, whether that's, just get him more snaps. And I feel like that's probably going to come within probably next year.
Yeah.
But this defense overall, the fact like Joseph Asai, like the recovered fumble, that's what a team wants to see.
Ball hawking defense.
Nuttall said the defense is so good at stopping forward movement so they can strip the ball. I don't know if I've seen any other team do it consistently before.
Not since the Legion of Boom.
And it's crazy to see. Like there's been countless times you look at the Patriots game where they did that. You look at today's game where it's like a play stopped and then
I actually have a nickname for the Bengals defense. I haven't told anybody though. It's the cleanup crew. That's literally the defense that I always call them whenever we're playing Madden with me and Daniel. I call them the cleanup crew. I think the Bengals just always do the dirty work and they clean up, whether it's intercepting passes, whether it's getting fumbles, whether it's just being active. Whenever they need a big play, you can always count on this Bengals defense to show up.
Preston said, I love, Dax looked nice, but I like Joseph Asai and Carter today as well.
Oh, yeah.
Matthew Hoare is asking about Alex Kappa. Do you know how bad the injury is by Alex Kappa?
No update on Alex Kappa just yet.
Christopher is asking, do you think Jesse Bates is going to get a contract extension?
In Cincinnati, that's tough to say. I think there are a lot of mouths to feed in Cincinnati, and I just can't see the Bengals playing top-notch for safety play that has been listen, I would love to see Jesse Bates back in Cincinnati personally. So I think that the playoffs still have to play out the way they have to play, but I think it'll be I think the Bengals would love Jesse Bates back at the right price, but for what Dave Mulgeta, his agent, and them are asking for, I think that you're kind of putting the Bengals in a tough position.
Randall asked Miami or Buffalo. I think Miami could give them a chance. I think they could give them a tough fight if, once again, if Tua is healthy, if he's playing, I think they give him a chance. But with Teddy Bridgewater, I'd probably take the Bills at home. Gia is saying, if we play the Bills, will we be fighting against the refs?
That's a whole can of worms that I don't know how to answer that. Let's just say I think the Bengals got to control what they can control.
TY said, I can't wait to see what Lou cooks up next week because he was on Simmer today.
Oh, yeah. He was definitely on simulation mode. He was just always just trying to get through the game.
Good question here from Eric. Apologies if I already missed this. Is it me or were the Ravens headhunting today trying to take players out for the playoff
I'll be real
match?
there were some plays in there that I thought were very dirty by the Ravens. There was one play in particular where Jamar Chase got slammed, and then he was also on his hands and knees. Another guy came and just completely crushed him afterwards, and I was like, some of that stuff I just didn't agree with personally. I hope that gets cleaned up though.
So we have a question. Somebody said, overall, where do the Bengals rank defensively? They're currently the 7th best defense against the run, 16th overall against the yards. But overall, this defense has completely taken a step up, and they've dealt with injuries all throughout the year. So Grant's got a question about the Browns. Malik, do you think Deshaun Watson will get back to his original form with the Browns next year?
I think Deshaun Watson still has talent, and I think he can get back to original form. It's just kind of crazy to me how he was in Houston and he had a similar situation where he didn't have a lot of weapons to throw to, and now he's in Cleveland, and outside of Amari Cooper, it's not a lot there. But I don't know. I don't know if it's rust. I don't know if he's mentally checked out. I don't know what it was, but I have my thoughts on Deshaun Watson, and yeah.
Sonny said, who do the Bengals play next week? It seems like it's going to be the Ravens.
It's going to be the Ravens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So T.Y. said, if they don't sign Jesse Bates, you have to sign Von Bell.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
As it stands, Travis is asking about the offseason. Right now, would you go offense or defense in the draft?
Defense.
All right. That everybody, is kind of riled up in the comments, but that seems like pretty much most of the biggest questions about the game. So
yeah, again, I want to say thank you to you all. I'll be back here tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Eastern time talking about Black Monday in the NFL. Make sure you guys tune into the sit down tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Eastern time. Do me a favor, comment with a tiger if you're going to be here at 11 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow to talk about Black Monday with me and Meg. I can't wait for the sit down. I can't wait to talk about everything. I'll be talking about that. I'll be talking about Dana White. I'll be talking about Jake Paul. Comment a tiger down below, just a tiger emoji if you're going to be here tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern time with the sit down crew. If you guys are going to be here, I'll make sure I'm here. You know what I mean? I just want to make sure all the 100+ people that we have in this live that you guys are going to be supporting the sit down. We'll be talking about everything, the NFL playoff picture when it all shapes out. We'll be talking about Black Monday and all the different coaches that are getting fired, things of that nature. Delayed tiger. I'll watch tomorrow. I appreciate that. But yeah, I'm just really, really pumped up about tomorrow's show and about everything we'll be talking about. Go ahead.
So if you guys are watching this, make sure you guys once again subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Please
right?
do.
Anytime there's breaking news, we've got, we already know, or Malik knows, some breaking news. We'll have some content on the YouTube channel, whether it's YouTube shorts, whether it's videos. This is why we do this, right? It's not just Bengals. We're breaking down all the latest news, bold predictions for the playoffs. We're having it all.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I appreciate you all. He said, do you send out notifications? So Sonny, all you have to do is subscribe and then turn on the bell icon. And that's why you catch all of our videos when they go live, whether they're pre-recorded, whether they're live videos. We're going live almost each and every single day. And we go live, talk with you guys. Malik, do you have some updates on Cap? No updates on Kappa just yet. Injury is really fresh, if you will. We'll get more updates as they go. I'll try to ask around, see what I'm hearing, things of that nature. But please make sure you guys subscribe to our YouTube channel and give this video a like. We greatly appreciate your support. And I'll be seeing y'all back here tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern time with my co-host Meg, as we'll be talking about all things NFL, breaking down Black Monday in the league, And yeah, I can't wait to talk football with all of you tomorrow. Daniel, you have anything else you want to add to the people?
I just appreciate all the people. Like I said, we've got 143 people watching this, and this is why we do it. And especially heading into the playoffs, we're gonna have a lot of reactions. We're gonna have a lot of our best bets, and then come off season time, people got to know that we're gonna be going to a lot of these different events.
Yeah.
So, and it's all thanks to First Star. So
he said, "What? All thanks to First Star." He said, somebody asked, "What scares you most about the Ravens?" I think their unpredictability sometimes. I think the Ravens sometimes, they can go all in on the run game and go all in on the pass game. I think certainly having Lamar Jackson out there makes things a lot more dynamic. But when he's not out there, it seems very, you sort of know what to expect. And it's because it's hard to replicate a Lamar Jackson. But I also think that Lamar Jackson playing after being out as long as he has is kind of rusty, to be honest with you.
people are showing their love. Thank you, Malik. Who day?
Who day, everybody. I appreciate your support. Again, we can't do this without you. No more flipping a coin, Justin Money 513. No more flipping a coin. There's no coin to flip. The Bengals won today. The Bengals get to play at Paycor Stadium in front of the Bengals, the best fan base in the entire National Football League.
Brock was asking the question, do you think that Joe played more relaxed or safe to avoid injury today?
I can't answer that. I don't think Joe Burrow ever steps on the football field saying, you know what, I'm going to play safe.
Yeah, I don't think so. I saw him run a lot, and there were a couple times they even ran, I think it was just a QB draw right up the middle. He's scrambling around, running. I don't think Joe Burrow, he's at the point in his career where he's just trying to win no matter what.
We've got my guy in here, the owner of Cincy Shirts, Josh Sneed, man. Who day, brother? Who day, man? Big win. Make sure you guys check out Cincy Shirts. They have some amazing gear there. They came out with the 513 stands with Buffalo shirts, and those are awesome. And I actually went out and got 3 custom hoodies made. So make sure you guys support them, support local businesses in Cincinnati. And Josh, you guys do amazing work, my man.
If you had to guess, Malik, are the Bengals going to play on Saturday or Sunday?
The league might say screw us and say we got to play Saturday. And if that's the case, we're all for it. We're gamed. We're ready. We'll pack out Paycor Stadium no matter what. So again, whatever the league wants to do, you already screwed us once, so we could keep it going. So it is what it is.
Keith Bradley said, did you guys see the disgusting Steelers celebration? I saw it. I don't know necessarily, I didn't do enough research into what they meant about it. I'm not gonna.
Again, everybody's realizing that, I saw, the Pittsburgh Steelers. I still have my thoughts about the Pittsburgh Steelers organization and that team. And every single season they seem to do something to, amplify how I already felt about them. Josh said, "Thanks, dude." One thing that still frustrates me about play calling is the need to get too cute when we need half a yard on first. I agree.
So I'm going to say one thing, and my biggest critique is if I can catch something, I'm sure opposing teams can. When they switch T. Higgins out and they put in Stanley Morgan, we've watched the Bengals all year long. It seems like almost every single time they sub T out, they put in Stanley Morgan, extra offensive line. I guarantee you 100% of those were runs, and it's always on the first down. So when I look at the Bengals, that's my biggest critique would be, okay, well, it's pretty obvious that first down, you take T out, you put in the extra offensive lineman, you're going to run the ball, and most of the time it gets 2 to 3 yards. So.
If you guys want to check out these FEA, get one of these FEA hoodies, I have a link that's going to be put in the description after the show. If you guys want to get yourselves, if you want to know what it stands for, it's F them all. It stands for F them all, and that's how we feel. That's how the Bengals feel. We were in the business of proving not everybody wrong, we're proving ourselves right. We are the team to beat. Everything still runs through Cincinnati, and it starts with Baltimore. Again, Cincinnati versus the world, Cincinnati versus everybody. Tour is live, tour is open, and it takes place this upcoming weekend. So don't miss out. Don't forget to get your tickets because it's going to be a show. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in to State of the Jungle. Appreciate you guys for being passionate, always supporting us. Make sure you guys give a like on this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'll be back live tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. So I hope all Bengals fans and everybody joins us here at 11 a.m. live from the First Star Logistics Studio. We're signing off. Appreciate you all. Who day? We're AFC North champions. Let's go.